So, what's going on in the Vero Beach market where I practice? So, it's been widely reported all over the news that in-migration from other states has quieted a little bit to more normal levels pre-pandemic. It used to be Florida was number 2 for people going into for in-migration after Texas. Now we're about number 5. Places like North and South Carolina, higher on the list, as the cost of ownership and the cost of buying has gotten more expensive post-pandemic. But so that's been widely reported, so that's not really news. But I heard a super interesting comment that I wanted to talk to you about the implication of that. I heard a very smart guy say, when the mix of incoming buyers is diminished from out-of-state buyers, out-of-area buyers, that means the locals and the local economy need to support the market. So what does that really mean? Well, what it really means is, I think, if folks are not coming from parts elsewhere that have substantially higher pricing, California, Connecticut, New Jersey, if those numbers are diminished and they were coming to town before and thinking we were a screaming bargain, relatively speaking, that kind of means the percentage of buyers is more local based who may have been here pre-pandemic, and they need to say, well, what do we think about this pricing? Do we really think that house over there that 5 years ago might have been $600,000 is today worth 1.1? Maybe not. So I think that kind of explains some of the price settling and new ceilings that we're seeing established in places like Central Beach, where prices aren't quite what they were. It doesn't necessarily mean that prices are collapsing. To the contrary, there are still buyers out there. But I think it was a really interesting statement to say the locals and the local economy need to support the pricing. So that's, I think, a good answer to some of the new ceilings that we're seeing where prices have, frankly, come down a little bit. But let's be honest, we were up 60%, 60. So if we're down 5% or even 10% year over year, we all have seen a gain. The question becomes, what is going to happen for outsiders from more expensive markets to come in, potentially put pressure on, or to have more buyers come in to put pressure on pricing? Time will tell. But I thought that was a really interesting commentary about what's the net effect of in-migration going back to pre-COVID levels. So I wanted to put that out there for you guys to think about. I'm Sally Daley. Have a great day.